is Warriors Anonymous.
All right, guys. 3 weeks to go of the NRL regular season, and it's starting to get so interesting. Yeah, we've got the boys lined up. Before we even get into anything, we must mention about the warriorsanonymous.co.nz, the merch, as you can see from myself and Isaac. You can head along to warriorsanonymous.co.nz, get yours today, and keep warm and look stylish, just, yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes, got to say. warriorsanonymous.co.nz. But lads, unfortunately, Moneta couldn't be here on this particular episode. But I'll start us off with a hard or nah in his honor, because he brought up the question. And that one is, it's a bit of a hard-hitting issue, I guess, of the day. Are the Warriors worthy of a top 4 spot? Hard or nah, we'll start with you, Isaac.
You know what I'm going to say. That's why you started with me. Nope, not at the moment. Not with the team that we've got now and the way that we're playing. No. The teams that are behind us and in that chasing pack, I feel are far more worthy of the top 4 spot right now than we are, unfortunately. Just being honest. That's all.
No, that's fair. I appreciate that. Daniel, what is your thoughts, bro? Hard or nah, are the Warriors worthy of a top 4 spot?
Well, if the league was to finish today and we're going to grand finals, they would be fucking worthy of the top 4 spot.
I knew you were going to
They
say
are
this.
in 4.
Because they are in the 4, yeah. But we're talking about worthy.
Like, where were these teams in round 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Look, come on. If anything, they obviously put the work in and found performance early in the season. It doesn't take away from where, if you were to look at the power rankings, I guess, in performance and all metrics, we wouldn't necessarily feature in there. But hey, we got the wins early. We banked the wins early.
That is true. So
we'll just take it for now.
Yeah, nice, bro. I had a feeling you were going to say that. So I actually had a feeling of both your guys' answers. Love that. It's become a little bit like a game of snakes and ladders at the moment, isn't it? Like we just kind of rolled a 2 and just kind of don't. Meanwhile, the Panthers, they hit a snake with the face of Harry Grant and slid down a few. So,
so we've got snakes and ladders, and we've got bingo. The bingo card.
Yeah, that's right. Snakes and ladders. There are, just to mention Harry Grant. One of the smartest operators in the league right now. And Daniel, I know that you've got an idea on a couple of names you want to throw into the mix there.
I mean, look, I think there's space for intelligence in the game. I mean, some people probably don't give credit where credit's due, but I actually saw Levon, a little post he made around a chat we call Wayne in this podcast, but Wade Egan. But he's changed his name to Six Egan as well, because he is the maestro of picking up lazy markers, people falling off the tackle, coming off late, and he just finds them as well. And to Levon's point, actually, he's like, with our forward pack probably not getting the meters we need to, we probably need to have 6 again every 4 or 5 sets. And Wayne does it as well. So up in the echelon of Harry Grant with smart players, and I'm referring to Harry Grant's ability to dummy. And high pressure moment where 99% of everyone thinks you're going to go there, but it takes players with just levels of intelligence to go. They know, they think they're going there. I'm just going to walk through the front door as well. So that was beautiful.
He's like a high pressure hose with great accuracy in those moments, and yeah, it was like a thing of beauty, wasn't it? It was just like the old look back, and everyone just went whoop, and then you'll say, okay. Anyways, I've got to throw one into the mix as well, who I think is ascending on the footy smarts, and especially the refereeing side of things. I think that's Stephen Crichton. We saw that last week when he took the dive, and I thought, yeah, that's really gaming the system actually really, really well. Credit where credit is due. Some may call it diving, but hey,
you say credit where credit's due.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. Now, Isaac, Jackson Ford has been banned 3 weeks. What was your reaction to hearing that news?
For what? That was my reaction. Huh? What?
Yeah.
Just let me put the record back, Just let me push reverse on the tape player.
He hasn't been banned for his poor hands and his inability
to
play the ball.
Don't worry.
The ball standing up.
I took the bingo card for that. It was pretty close. Yep.
6
Play the
again.
ball. Yep. 6 again. To his credit, though, on his bingo card, he has got big motor for the whole game. Yep. Tick that one off.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't see it. I know it was after the after match referee caught the crusher. But how bad could it have been if it didn't get pulled up that seriously in the game? I don't know. So I think I was like a lot of fans, like, had to rewind the tape and figure out what the hell just happened.
It seems a bit harsh to get an offence, to get a ban for 3 weeks for an offence that didn't get picked up. Is I was asking around a lot of people.
It's a 4-week ban, but you take an early plea.
That's right. Yeah.
Because he had some previous loading or whatever, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was quite recently. He got a fine for a similar offence, so that caused offence to the judiciary, and they decided to ban the fuck out of him. So,
well, there's one fan favorite of the podcast as well, Big Joseph Maharaja, Big Joe. He is outraged, absolutely. He's livid, and rightly so. Kofusi can go and break Laban's leg and get a cheeky 2 weeks. That bro had loading up the wazoo as well. I mean, he's got a whole caravan of loading, but he just gets a cheeky 2 weeks and innocuous. I mean, I know they're trying to get rid of the crusher tackle over there as well, but if it didn't cause any injury, I think maybe you need to weigh that up.
Yeah, aren't they trying to get rid of the cannonball tackle though as well?
Yeah. I mean, they're getting rid of a bunch of different things, but what I'm trying to say is, like, there's outcomes of, I think they should be linked to outcomes sometimes, because some things are nasty. Leg breaks. And I know the neck thing is really important, but I don't know what's going to happen soon. They're just going to be running around up straight up and down, no arms, and just nubbing each other when they play league, because
wearing those big, those inflatable spheres.
jeez, that'd be great to watch. Bunty off the back fence, boom,
Knocked him into touch halfway up the.
and then they get bumped around in the crowd.
Yeah, Mexican way.
Too good, boys. Too good. Now, also too good was the pregame introduction was next level. It was the I guess the sort of over a couple of rounds they did the Indigenous rounds across the league, and sort of we got our home game this week, and man, it was something to behold. I was getting some chills. Isaac, were you the same, bro?
And I don't know, I was overcome with emotion almost, to be honest. It was really just never seen anything like it, and just so proud to be a Warriors fan, so proud to be a Kiwi, just seeing that, No, I'm of that race, I'm not Maori, but it made me feel really, really proud to be a Kiwi, to say that, hey, look, that's my that's my country, that's representing right there. The Indigenous crowd. Yeah, I just, hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and just got really just hit me in the heart, that whole pre-game event.
Man, it was pretty cool to see Big Fish out there leading the charge, and just doing his thing, and I thought, man, he's gonna springboard off this to a massive performance, and then he didn't at all. But the Aussies were pumped about it. They were like, man, that was next level, that intro. Daniel, what were your thoughts, bro?
Awesome. Yeah, love it as well. A lot of emotion, opportunity for Fish and the rest of the Māori boys to honour their tipuna and their whakapapa by just being proud of who they are, where they come from as well. The only criticism, right, is it felt like perhaps they, got that it was quite emotional, right? So it might have just taken a little bit of sting out of the ability to start the game. But hey, it happens. We see it happen in test level as well. We see it happen sometimes in the All Blacks games as well. So, but no, awesome. And I think the whole Indigenous weekend, 2 weekends, is just fantastic for the game as well. So, considering, between the Indigenous cultures of both countries as well, and even the Pacific area, we dominate the league.
Absolutely. And yeah, it was interesting watching the emotion build up and feeling it within myself as well. And I was kind of like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I started actually, just a little voice in my head, just starting to worry, like, was this becoming an occasion game, which we stink at? But I was like, no, the emotion will override it. But But yeah, anyways, we got bloody lucky, to be fair. Let's talk about the game itself. Yeah, in terms of, obviously everyone's talking about the Dragons all knocking themselves out in the tackles. But having said that, I actually felt, even though they were basically minus a bench, an entire bench, they still probably had the opportunities to win this one.
Plenty of opportunities. I mean, we've been pretty lucky with some of the games where the other team have gone out of their way to lose a game. Because when that Terrell Sloan break occurred, I was like, here we go. Here's the rundown that you're expecting to happen, and the Warriors get pipped at the post, but luckily it didn't turn out that way. But yeah, even when they were down 3 men, I couldn't shake that feeling of, oh, we're going to fuck this up. We are going to fuck this up. It didn't happen, thankfully, and I was had to give them a standing ovation at the end of the game just because I had to get on my feet and just breathe a big sigh of relief. But yeah, it's just, what is up with us? We just don't look worthy of a top 4 position at the moment. And just throw that one out there. Yeah. That's why I feel the way I feel.
I understand as well. A lot of people, I think, there's been a lot of chat around the traps of, people just sort of saying stuff like, "Oh, well, we're lucky," or we're not worthy, or whatnot, and then once you do that, depending on how you go about it, the comments, they all come back firing at you. But Daniel, look, the Dragons effectively lost their bench. Is that any excuse for us to not use our bench? Were we trying to be nice to them?
Yeah, I think probably sympathy for them as well to say, hey, since 2 of you guys knocked yourself out, which was horrible. Like, that's the worst. Because there's no obviously being knocked out isn't great either anyway, but that's full on. They just kind of collided into each other as well. So you never want to see that. And then obviously, as luck may have it, then a third HIA. I didn't realise they had changed the rule that the 2 HIAs activates the 18th man, which I think is a great rule, right? Like, it used to have to be a foul play incident to cause that as well. So yeah, we just, I don't know what it is. I mean, in some parts, I supported how they closed out the game. Look, I think when you look at, obviously, I think they decided to leave Liquor off as well after probably his interchange in the second half. And I think it was just one of those nights. It was a Rocks or Diamonds night, created an absolute freakish play to set up Roger Hurd, another freakish play. And when we scored that try, I was like, why does it have to be so hard for us to score a try? That was an amazing piece of play, but oh my gosh. But 3 errors, and I guess it's the killer. And so maybe from that point of view, Webby just thought, hey, I just need to limit errors, because every time we had the ball in some position of some sort of attack in their half, we just coughed it up. And it was like, it must have happened 10 times. You're just in there going, shit, we've put no pressure on these guys. So, yeah, so from a bench point of view, I don't know. We're just, we're the only saving grace is the guys are generally quite fit. We've referred to this a few years ago where, the bench was so important how we used it, because we'd lose by 30 or 40 every week, and, the guys had the arse full hanging out. So that's the only saving grace he's got for the team.
Yeah, I got to say that I actually had a moment of realization the day after the game on how Roger did that maneuver that he did, caught the ball, spun around, and threw it back inside. It's a dad move. It's straight up, like, because I picked up Julius on Saturday morning. He was crying. Picked him up,
and you tossed him.
And I, well, not quite, but I sort of, I realized that there was bloody Lego and toys and shit all over the floor. And so visibility wasn't great. So I just kind of just had to stay where I was. So almost plant your feet and just spin around on the spot and try and scan, where the obstacles are. And I did that. And I was like, that's exactly what Roger did. And then, like you say, I did throw the baby, but no, I didn't do that.
Can I just say, with Roger's ability there, I mean, second to none, fantastic, amazing. But I love you, Roger, but you need to learn pass left to right, bro. The amount of times in a dummy half, he threw these like horrible 10-meter kind of passes
Wobblers
behind players, and like wobblers. Oh, don't go into dummy half, but man, he's just like, everyone just leave him there? Like, let's just leave him there. Everyone's, he play fullback and went back in the centres and da 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 da. can we also just leave Roger there, and can we just recognise that like playing centre is a different game, like for Chance, because I feel like Chance is only spending about 25% petrol every week now, and it's no disrespect to him, but it's just the nature of the role, right? Like, he's gone from super Mr. Active guy as well to like kind of part-time lover.
I was just thinking, Super Mr. Active Guy runs around the field to fly. Does anyone remember that song? Like Sesame Street? Sorry, there's a massive tangent. I was funny one to remember.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And like, yeah, I wonder if the same sort of mentality was employed for the use of Sam Healey, because we flogged Wade Egan for bloody 70 minutes of the game, and then we used Sam for the last 10 minutes. Isaac, explain to me your thoughts, and even if there's a defense for how that broke down.
I can only think having some experience on the park at some crucial times in the game. But personally, I'd like to see Sam Healey get a lot more minutes than he got. Especially, I wouldn't feel comfortable having inexperience to close out a game. Like, bring him on in the middle of the game where it's sort of in the balance, but he could make a difference. Whereas at the tail end of the game, when they're shutting up shop and trying to, defend, bringing on Sam Healey to make some pretty important decisions in defense. I mean, it worked out in the end, but I'd feel more comfortable having more experience at the back end of the game to close out. The whole bench rotation in general has got me a little bit flummoxed. Didn't we have one interchange left up our sleeve again? Yeah, so we really were trying to do the Dragons a favour, even though there were 3 men off their bench. Doesn't mean that we can't use all of our interchanges. But yeah, the Sam Healey thing, I would have liked to have seen them a little bit more early in the game. I think he's shown that he's up to this level. So the more minutes for him, the better. And I think we've shown with a lot of the younger players, they're fit for purpose in the top grade in the NRL. They just need minutes under their belt. Dimitrix, perfect example. The more minutes he gets, the better he's gotten every week. So Sam Healey, I wonder why they don't do the same thing.
Yeah, I got to say, like, coming into this game, I was actually really excited. I was like, oh, here we go. It's the 1-2 punch a lot of people have been waiting for, including myself. We can have Wade to, like, just sort of, bemuse them a little bit and run them around, and then just bring on Healey to bloody cut them up for a little while and just kind of just pull the levers. And I think by the 7th minute, I wasn't excited that Healey was coming on. I was just angry that we had waited so long to get to that point. And also, again, like we did against the Dolphins, saving our, interchange for bloody superannuation. Like, what is going on there, Daniel? Like, what's your take on it? Because we weren't down on injuries or anything. Like,
I think there's also a leadership component as well. Like, you need senior players on the field. So when Fisher's not on there, we didn't have Capes this week. So Wayne was captain. Well, at least he was getting spoken to, and naturally, because he is a, as we talked about, he's a smart bugger as well. So perhaps it was a little bit of like making sure he got leadership out there as well, and having all the young guys in there, because that, it's probably the concern they have, is having sometimes, you would have to bring Tanner on, who played awesome. Stowers Smith was awesome.
He's growing, really growing, eh, bro? Tanner.
Oh, bro, he's just his energy, like the he brings, his carries, his ability to get up, play, make a fast play the ball, get to the side of the defenders is just awesome as well. So perhaps there's a little bit of that. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, like you say, guys, I mean, I'd prefer to have, I guess, that middle period, maybe that sort of 45 to 65 minute mark, where you can get Sam and Healey in there. Maybe there's a little bit of tiring defense. Remember, that's typically it's the other team's second interchange, front row as well. So typically they're not as sharp as the mainstays, but perhaps, maybe they're playing one out the window with a few other things. I'm not sure. It's a mess-ish, but I come back to it. When did we, apart from that interchange, was there anyone else you would have brought back in to the game?
Well,
at the end?
I probably would have. I would have put less Ks on our Jackson Ford. I said he was trying to run him like a friggin' Toyota. And I think if you take him off 10 minutes earlier, then it saves him at least probably 2, maybe 3 errors that he put out there.
So you think errors, his fatigue, probably a good point, really, like errors and fatigue. But outside of that, he was tackling everything, and he was running. He was come dance with me, with, like Fanua Blake styles, and he was charging guys up the ground. So it's a conundrum, and we know that about Jacko, right? His Achilles heel are his hands and his maybe attention to detail.
Well, maybe there's going to be a sweet spot for him, because how many minutes did he play up front? Was like 60-something odd minutes? Like
65, yeah.
Yeah, maybe just test it by giving him a little bit less minutes, because I honestly think it's a mental thing. It's just a brain fade where these mistakes happen, because otherwise you take the mistakes out of the picture. He had a cracking game. Like, he put on some big hits, he was leading the defensive line, great carries. It's just that the only problem with him is he's got a reputation for these errors that ultimately, do cost us in pretty key positions in the field. So I know he's got a big motor. He does get better as the game goes on, but that doesn't mean you keep him on for too long and rack up the Ks on the odometer. Back to that Sam Healy point as well. I'm surprised he didn't get more minutes, just say, 5 to 10 minutes before halftime. With the amount of interchanges that they did have, surely their forward pack would have been tired. So to have a guy like Sam Healy on to close out like the first half just would have been a headache for them, I thought. They would have been like, oh, fuck, we have to deal with this guy now running out from dummy half. Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me.
So, question, if it's 10 minutes to play and we pull all the interchanges out and we get a serious injury or an injury where players to come off, non-HIA, what do you do?
Run.
So maybe Weeby's got that mindset, because he does look for scenarios, like he picks players, and we've seen it. We've had to see it all season. We've had guys playing in different positions, and it's not like, oh my god, that guy's playing there and he has no idea how to play there. Like there's been like that a few games in the dark ages as well, but maybe that's just it. He just wants to keep that scenario in case there's 5 to go. Like, the last thing you ever want to do is go to 12 players.
That's the thing I'm good with. Like, I'm kind of okay with just having one for that scenario. But I think once you get to, with about 4 or 5 minutes to go, it's like, bro, like your season's on the line here. If you choke in this game and they come back and score, and that's what they nearly did, you gotta make sure that you are actually doing everything that you possibly can to get that result. So I would at least put that last interchange at that point in the game. And then if we do cop an injury from there, then then that's just sort of bad luck. But you've kind of covered yourself as far as you can, but you've not gassed everyone at the same time. So that's how I would look at it personally.
But was anyone's ass hanging out, if you know what I mean? Like in previous years, you knew it, like the Jack Murchys of the world, right? Like, fucking huffing and puffing,
Gas.
a little gas, and you knew like, oh, we just got carved up because the level of fitness in this team. But I think there is, I think there is a level of fitness, and yeah, I guess maybe there is a chance to kind of, because that's the other part too, like, you don't. Yes, I get the point. You put all your interchange out if you can use them, but you always want to have your best players out as much as possible, right? So sometimes it's about just getting cheap minutes with a couple of them so you can get your premier players out as well. But yeah, I mean, they've got methods to the madness. We'll keep watching it with keen interest because if they don't execute, we do hear about it.
Oh, do we what? Absolutely. Now, boys, onto the referees or the refereeing. I found an interesting comment on one of the pages, which was quoted as a Broncos fan, I have to say, whenever this ref has the Warriors, he's biased 110% against them. I just found that I like those takes. I like the takes from outside fans, because then it's not not necessarily a salty sort of Warriors fan thing or salty team thing. But I actually felt like we might have got away with one on the Pompey try when Yukore ran through the line and sort of, I felt like he took out the defender, King Tonga. What was your thoughts on that one, Isaac? Did we maybe get one?
I thought it was a try, but I had a feeling they were going to pull it back. I think I messaged you guys like, you wait for this, they're going to pull it back. Because he, like in King Tonga, made a play at him. He Harry granted him, but he just didn't do as well as Harry Grant, basically. His intention was to go to buy that penalty and buy the no try. That was my thought, but I thought, yeah, he's bought it. Yeah, he's got it. So I was quite surprised when they gave us the try for that one. Overall, there's some pretty interesting calls from the ref. And I think I might have mentioned it in our chat as well, that I thought the ref did a pretty average job for the amount of time that the St. George players were holding us down in the tackle. It was happening repeatedly. There was be 3-man tackle, one peels off, second peels off, third peels off in a very, really slow fashion. I went back and watched a little bit of it. The amount of times a Warriors player stood up, complaining with their hands up was quite often. But it seems to be a bit of a pattern, especially over the past 4 to 6 weeks. We're just getting held down majorly.
But that decision, the try no try decision, and giving it a try, if they officiated it like that every week, happy days, because that he makes a defensive decision. Niakotis he's gone through him, and he to get to the play. Here's a line for him, but he just goes to Niakotis. It's like that's what he goes. I thought like you. I thought they were going to pull it up because it's that clear fucking. The bro on the left wing got, fell over, and he's been impeded. But problem is they don't officiate it because the week before there was a slight touch, so it's a lottery. We got it.
Really
we got it. But
it's a flavor of the week.
I would prefer them to do this defensive decision because you can tell when a player is making a defensive decision versus clearly being impeded.
Yeah, the main reason I thought they were going to take it off us was merely from the fact I just watched Nukore after he went through the line, and he looked like the guiltiest man in Auckland. He was like, his head was kind of slightly back, like shit. And then Poppy ran through, and he was just like kind of almost hanging his head, like, but hey,
yeah, true. Because when Poppy went through, he went through like wide open, and then when they're wide open, you're like, oh,
something feels off.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, anyways.
Can I just mention one thing that in terms of current rules at the moment, and may have been Wade who was captain at the time, but the challenge of the contested in the air and tackled
in the air, that was a weird one.
Smart,
yes.
Yeah,
because that's hot topic right now. It's absolute hot topic, and like the league have kind of backed themselves into a corner. They're kind of fucked with it, really, because if there's any like, okay, we're up together, we're going for the ball. I've won the ball. You can't touch me. You touch me. And it's like,
hey, friend.
Thank you very much. So just smart. And I think from a tactic point of view, we just need to go with it. We just need to be putting kicks in the air. We've got aerial, options as well with Dallin, the boys in the centres as well. They can get up in the air as well with Liquor. So just great thinking, boys.
Got to say as well, last week, 2 out of 3 of us on this podcast were very keen to drop Dallin, and he came out and played bloody well against the Dragons. So
shout out.
Credit where credit is due. No, I was with you.
Yep.
I was with you on that, bro, and I understand why too. Like we were both ready to, we were baying for blood. But yeah, it was good to see him bounce back, and hopefully keep doing it, and hopefully it's not a one-off. But lads, what's your thoughts on our? In particular, we're going to have a couple of guys coming back, well, scheduled to come back from injury, being Rocco Berry and Ali Leatawa. I'm kind of happy at the moment to actually keep Chance at centre. I actually feel like he really grew from the past week or so to the Dragons game. What did you see from him, Ice?
I feel like they actively tried to get him involved, especially in the carrybacks from our end of the field. And he's good. He's direct. I mean, he's... You can see the differences in the style of play between him and Tane, whereas Tane can kind of get bullied on that run back, whereas Chance, he might get stopped, but he doesn't get bullied. And with him a little bit wider, he was sort of poking his nose and getting in between 2 defenders and then getting a reasonable player the ball with his directness. So I thought them getting him involved, getting him a little bit more ball, albeit in the centres, so you're fairly limited to the amount of ball you can get. But they were trying to get him as much ball as they could for his strong carries, and I thought that took a little bit of the pressure off Tane as well. So yeah, I'm happy to keep him in the centres. Like, he's Mr. Fix-It. He goes anywhere, and he always does a good job.
Absolutely. I was really, I guess, in terms of thinking of those line breaks that they made, looking at the work that Tane does is outstanding. Like, he kind of just, hold caller, hold, hold please, caller. And he just sort of just backtracks and just waits for someone to kind of, come across and give them a little bit of support in that. And invariably, if you give them enough time, you can sometimes, there was a couple of chances there where they just had too much time on their hands and made the wrong decision. So I'm loving how he's backtracking and just creating a little bit of indecision as to what the attack is going to do.
The other part I'd love to see Tuopiki as well. And I agree. I mean, get Rocco, Ali, just get them really fit. Don't bring them 80% back. Don't rush them back. Like, especially Rocco, like that hamstring needs to be right. He doesn't want to pull it for the fourth time or something crazy like that. That's what I would love to see, and we still saw a glimpse of it as well, is Tuopiki needs some ball in the front line, right? Like, he is creative as. Shout out to Jeff Wright, who was just bombarding me with information about how good of a ball player he is as well. And obviously the cat and mouse thing, he's amazing at that too. And it kind of goes to ex-Warrior, where he learned his trade. Reece Walsh, his game. Oh my God. I mean, had Mick Innes drooling. He wasn't overstimulated. He wasn't over-aroused.
Aroused.
I was over-aroused. To his credit, he just looked, Reece Lightning. Like, he just got the ball, skipped past guys, just when he wanted it, and I think, Tane, we need that, because I guess our attack is bumbling at the moment, right? Like, there's nothing, and he obviously laid on a great play to get us that final try with Pompey going over as well, just, making the right decisions. So I'd love now him to kind of ask for a little bit more ball.
Yeah. Command it.
Yeah. Just take a page out of the Reece Walsh playbook, eh? Like, he can be rocks and diamonds as well, but you've got to give him the ball and let him be him, right? So I feel like it's slowly bubbling, like the true Tane is going to come to the surface at some point, and he's going to have his hands on the ball more often than not. But because our attack is a little bit lifeless.
You see with Reece, he just hovers around and just for that quick play the ball, and then he slingshots in behind, and man,
injects. Yeah.
I was aroused.
Yeah, but to one person's credit, Tanner, I thought he did really well running the ball.
Yes.
Giving the defense something to think about. Whereas the week before, it was just
Well, yeah,
we did talk about that. We set a very clear instruction as well, and maybe that's why we got back down to Cup as well, to run the ball, because he ran the ball really well in that Bulldogs game as well. Not to harp back on that decision from last week, but it must be said, it was noted by Chanel to say, what does Tanner bring this week? He brings a long kicking game. We didn't have that against the Bulldogs.
We didn't have that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with Tanner, I guess, not that Bulldogs game, but previously he'd just been kicking machine, put it into the right places on the field. But it's just nice to see him run, because the game last week when he was in New South Wales Cup, he was running the ball effectively. He's brought that with him.
Yeah.
Along with his long kicking game. I
can imagine Webby watching that interview tape back with Chanel, and that part where Chanel says, we didn't have a long kicking game last week. And that's when Webby goes, no. Do not say that. We don't say that. That's not what you say. Just bloody rubbishing our bloody coaching from last week.
Back to media training.
But, I mean, you know what you said, obviously not worthy of top four. Like, we were fucking lucky on it.
Yeah.
So lucky. We did everything to lose that game. They did everything to give us every chance to win that game. And not, they were, hats off to the Dragons. And I think that's the other thing to recognise now. Like, people look at where people are in the ladder now and they go, they're shit because they're at this location. Every 5 games is like a new season within a season, eh? Like, the teams are at different levels. The Roosters you talk about, man, they're just skinning everyone. Like, they've put they peeled back the Dolphins, who were a quality side and missing some key players, and obviously gave the Bulldogs a shellacking as well. So as I say that with the game coming up this weekend and the Titans,
how
they got humped by the Sharks. They completed at 73%. The average is 79% this season. What did they complete against us a few weeks ago?
92.
90%.
Oh, 90. That was close. Might as well have been 92. Might as well have been 100% the way we played. Yeah. Did we even get the ball? I don't know.
How worried are we? Look, how about we look at it the other way? Are we going to break this damn curse of ours?
I don't know. Sorry.
The team running last.
Yeah, my brain just froze. Yeah, I don't know. I could be honest and say I don't know. I'm scared. I am really scared. Titans at home, coming off the back of a shellacking, but a team that has literally no fear of this Warriors team. And no matter who's playing in it, no matter what year it is, the Titans have got the wood on the Warriors, and they seem to grow another leg or two or three when it comes to playing us. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they've got it's probably fair to say they've got a physical edge, which has given them the mental edge as well.
Mm-hmm.
Physical edge, but and a speed. They just have a speed to them that they know. And I guess if you were to rank speed, no, we're here and they're here.
We are not worthy of top 4 speed.
No.
Probably not even top 12.
And it's you're right. They just scares, and then they just get the confidence right. It just sucks. But hey, we have to do it. We have to do it.
We have to prove ourselves. Like, this is the time to do it, to beat the Titans. Make a statement. Beat the Titans. It sounds weird even saying it, but that's true for the Warriors. We have to make a statement by beating the Titans of all teams at home to make a statement for our season. Say that we are back at the right time.
Put them in that damn slow cooker and just make them bloody sweat and fall apart. Like that's exactly what we just need to do. But and if we can do it, there's a big carrot at the end of that, because we can seal our spot in the finals. So that would be nice. I think that's just the top 8 that would be clinched. But it's either if we beat the Titans or also if the Dolphins lose, we can be assured of a top 8 finish. Which,
I mean, put it this way: with 3 wins in a row and we're top 4, baby.
That's right.
There you go.
3 wins in a row will be damn worthy.
Who have we got for the stretch? So we got the Titans and then
Eagles and the Sea Eagles. You couldn't get a better run. You could not.
No, see, that kind of talk worries me now.
Yeah. Especially that Manly game as well. DCE decides to pull out a stunner. Again, no fear against the Warriors whatsoever.
Oh
yeah, at Brookie.
It's more Cola. Far out. He scares me, that guy.
Do you see that try?
Yeah.
Just ran straight through.
I'm going to add him to the list of players we should buy. I'm like, we should buy him. Like, he's got gas. He can play fullback and center. Like, positions of need. Like, we need speed and we need guys who can cover those spots. I'm
need
like,
for
get
speed. Manita Cola. Bring him in.
Bring him.
All right, boys. It's been fun. Thank you for jumping on this episode as we prepare for the game against the Titans, which we are, I don't know what if we were to give it a quick sort of percentage, what would be the weighting of excited versus nervous as hell, Isaac?
Oh, it's 95% nervous, but 5% excited. No, I don't want to say 5% excited. That's not fair. 95% nervous excitement and 5% confidence that we're going to win this game. I don't know. It's just the Titans. I fucking hate the Titans. Every fucking year, they have the win over us.
There's a word I learned today, hubris.
Hubris.
So that's proud of situation until you meet your like demise.
Yeah.
As well. Maybe hubris comes to mind, but it's probably the potential to be embarrassed is probably 99%, because the league will look at you and go, are you worthy of top 4? Because you can't beat the bottom place team.
Yeah, brother. We lose to the Titans.
What's that, brother?
Brother, I could just imagine someone making a meme if we lose to the Titans like that.
Again for like the 4th time in a row, or whatever it is. All right, hubris. That's a good way to finish. I like that. Boys, we're looking forward to the big game, and we will catch you guys next week. Don't forget, warriorsanonymous.co.nz for all the merch, and we'll catch you next week on Warriors Anonymous, hopefully celebrating a curse-breaking victory.
Hey!
Until then, up the Warriors, and go the Warriors!
Hey!
La cucaracha ya no puede caminar.